Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about Norsca in Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires and the best way to play them. Well, the best way to play Norsca is not to play Norsca. They're flat out so broken that there's no mod in the game that can make them any good. They have issues with their research, they have issues with their entire economy, they have issues with their recruitment, they have issues with their roster. I can go on. There are mods that can help in some aspects, but I think that regardless of what kind of mods you're trying, Norsca will always be a subpar experience compared to what it should be. So instead of trying to make the Norsca race playable, what I decided to focus instead is actually trying to make Wulfrik and Throgg playable. Because I really don't care about Norsca as a race. Like, if we talk about Norsca as a race, what makes Norsca race as a race interesting? It's not the race itself, neither in the lore or in the game. It's never been that. It's the awesomeness of a couple of things, like werewolves, Fimnir, things like mammoths, Wulfrik, and Throgg. That's the interesting thing about Norsca. Everything else is kind of fluff. The heroes, the lords, etc. Just complete pointless stuff. Not saying that CA shouldn't devote energies to it, but I just don't think it matters that much. So instead, what I would recommend you do is install a couple of mods and play a campaign as Be'lakor. You don't need to play as Be'lakor in this campaign. Like, if you want to, you can just conquer these two settlements and then dismiss his army. And never bother with anything demonic or from the Warriors of Chaos again. Like, seriously. If you really don't... If I'm not saying here you have to play, oh, let's just play a Warriors of Chaos campaign. No. There are going to be a couple of things you want. You want the Warband upgrade mod, cross-race. You want the console command mod. You want a mod that gives you increased allied recruitment. So here's what we're going to do over here on turn 1 after, that battle. We go to console command over here, selecting Wulfrik, and we type in Confederate. And then we go over here for this army right here as well, type in Confederate there as well, if you want to. And this will give you some Fimnir warriors, some Marauder champions right here that you can use. So you can just keep those. Yeah, I'll keep even all of these guys, right? Just keep those, dismiss this guy. Bam, you have a full stack of units right here. And because of the Warband upgrade mod, if you just want to play with Norscan units, you can do so. Getting access to werewolves is going to be a bit more complicated out there, say. But you do at least have something to start with, and you also have a hero. Hey, we got a Dark Fortress as well over here. Pretty solid as a starting situation. You may even want to keep this port over here because it would actually give you a decent level of growth to this Dark Fortress. Maybe that is the strat if you're playing Be'lakor. And same notion with Throgg right here. Just type in Confederate, and voila, right? Like, we got an entire army over here, and we can go over here and even type Confederate for Ace if you want to, or you can sell the monolith of flesh to them and vassalize them. And why do we want to vassalize them? Well, the reason we want to vassalize them is because we will use these guys for the sake of our unit recruitment. So what we're going to do is we're going to start building a bunch of outposts over here. I would recommend using these kind of, not major, but more than just like Warrior of Chaos bullshit. So the Scalings, the Acelings, the Varg to some extent. But yeah, just these kind of factions that have more going for them, even if you can vassalize them forcefully as the Warriors of Chaos. And the point is here, these guys are going to provide unit recruitment. Heroes is going to be very tricky. With the exception of, like, one of these Norscan factions gets all the heroes I want, so I can do that. Honestly, the only ones that are interesting are not the freaking Bale Fiends. Like, whatever on that subject. Though, they can give you replenishment. Keep in mind, the Norscan armies will not benefit from the meter over here, right? They're not going to benefit from this system. So you may want to potentially wait for them to get Fimnir Bale Fiends, and then vassalize them. Of course, you would lose the Norscan faction in the process, or you could just play with Warriors of Chaos heroes. It's not the end of the world in that respect, but that is an option. But what else do you want to do? Because it's not just like, oh, we confederate Wulfrik and Throgg. You do get access to Wulfrik's quest bell. You do get to his quest bell over here, and Throgg's quest bell. You do get access to their skill lines and all that. And if you do use allied recruitment, you will be able to get an entire proper army for both these guys. Again, replenishment can be a bit of an issue, though. You could always steal an allied army and get with a hero that's high enough level. Probably recommend campaign the campaign configuration mod that would make them immortal. And deliberately get some of those guys killed in order to steal them yourself. Wish there was a steal command. Like, I would just like to steal an army, really. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to work in console command. Okay, so a campaign that I played before I even started recording. So you can see over here, I have a combination of Norscan units through allied recruitment, and there is also a mod that does give you infinite levels of allied recruitment. There's also some mods, so I'm going to link the mod I'm using to give you 20 allied units per army. There's various other mods. Just basically search anything allied recruitment in the workshop page. Like, you can find that stuff, right? Recruitment slots, very simple. So just console command, Warband upgrade, cross race. The reason I recommend cross race is that you can then switch variants and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, just it will take a while until these Norscan factions try not to take their money, maybe vassalize the scaling on turn 1, right? That could work. Let them develop it. This does work especially well on Legendary. Let them develop it, build up, and eventually they will get heroes. And they will get units. And then, yeah, you can use Confederation, but you can use allied recruitment to make yourself proper Norscan armies. That's how you do it. But why Be'lakor in particular? Because you could technically do this as any of the Warriors of Chaos. I think Warriors of Chaos is the closest you could get, and I would recommend probably an undivided one. But why Be'lakor and not Archaon? Well, you see, Be'lakor, one of Wulfrik's unique things in the lore, is that he has a ship that teleports. Now, we can't quite do that, but we can get teleportation at home, can't we? And teleportation at home is Be'lakor's freaking rifts. See, you start with a rift right here. You have another one in Ostermark, and then another one right here. Right, so if you just want to teleport, you can do so, gentlemen, constantly, multiple times a turn, no problem. I mean, it does consume all your movement, but hey, you know, you can go from rift to rift. So, yeah, that is it. The feeling when Wulfrik's been in the game since Warhammer, even before Warhammer 2 came out, and Be'lakor of all people has his actual freaking mechanic that he should have as a legendary lord. This is how shit Norsca is. I'm sorry. This is how irredeemable Norsca is when you play them in a campaign. That Be'lakor is a better Wulfrik than Wulfrik is. Again, you can just decide to, okay, take this army, just like, you know, get Harald Hammerstorm and all that kind of stuff, right? Just get your hero right here, take this army and just bam, click this band. You don't need to play with any of this. Don't bother. Use allied recruitment. The only consent you might have to give, like, is regards to heroes and lords, and that's fine enough. Or hell, you know, you could, some of the confederations you could even get Marauder Chieftains, if for whatever insane reason you want to play with Marauder Chieftains as your lord. But for the confederation, you could, you know, just confederate the scaling over here and get all their stuff. Get all their units, their lords, etc. I would not recommend doing this necessarily all that much. It is going to cause you problems. You're going to run out of Norscan factions to use this on eventually. But you could always cause a couple of rebellions, because obviously Warriors of Chaos. Maybe one of the mods that could work out there is giving... maybe one of the solutions to this would just be a mod that allows you to recruit Norscan units full-time as Warriors of Chaos and heroes and all that. I mean, it's just really werewolves or wereskins and mammoths that are the interesting stuff. You have armor cast trolls, maybe Norscan ice trolls with that. That's it. Like, there's just a handful of units you really care about. And we got teleportation at home, baby. It's like, it also can be with Throgg as well. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Oh, and here's the thing. It's not just these teleports, right? Because one of the things I did here is I created another portal right here, and then it's like, okay, sure. Let me give you an idea. let's say I go to one of these, let's say quest battle, right? The 1 through 2. No, forget the 1 through 2 crown. Screw that. Which one? No. That. There's the sword. Ignore fighting that. That's not what I'm after. What I am after is when you do this, you get a bit of vision in a province when you set it up, right? Because I'm not getting vision necessarily here, although I might be, anyway. Or you could just use, toggle flag of war, pop a portal down, or send heroes and lords on exploration. It's like, hello, Alariel, what are you doing? You want to enjoy some Norsca invasion? Fun. Yep, there it is, a portal. By the way, you can recruit the lord just as a scout to send over here. Keep in mind it might be better with heroes because the rogue fleets that are patrolling around Ulfwan will attack a single lord like that. They'll use that as target practice. So you might want to hop on to Bretonnia first, and then hop on to Ulfwan if you want the Sword of King. Just an idea. Or yeah, use Toggle Flag of War to spawn a portal and just move on. Hey, why not? Have fun. Enjoy your time, right? That's it. And hey, if you want Cetra, sorry, not Cetra. I'm exaggerating. Surf Ek. You can have him. Just some notions. Or if you have one of those mods, right? You talk about like some of the Norscan Lord mods. It's like, hey, you want Skeggy? No problem, right? Just start a campaign, get Skeggy, get all those legendary lords for modded. Just console command confederate, warband upgrade, allied recruitment, warband upgrade, cross race specifically. That's all you need. You can have a much better time playing Norsca like this, Norsca, than actually playing the Norscan race. It's more appropriate, funnily enough, from a lore perspective, because Norsca, the way it plays in the game, it's like extremely outdated. Oh, but you can make money. I don't give a damn about money. I can make money as the Demon Prince. That's irrelevant as far as I see it. Does the race have good mechanics? It doesn't. Does it have good diversity? It doesn't. A couple of good stuff doesn't make a race or a faction. So this is the best way, from my perspective, to play Norsca. If you want to experience, that fantasy of Wulfrik and Throgg. It would be nice if we could spawn, the console command supposedly supports spawning heroes. I've tried it with Warskins. It just kind of doesn't work from my point of view. Maybe I need to try harder. Regardless of that. Like, outside of a couple of heroes and a couple of, or rather 2 out of 3 heroes and a couple of units, there's no reason to give a damn about the Norsca roster, and that's where the allied recruitment, even the baseline allied recruitment is enough for that. Just use cast heroes. There's nothing wrong with exalted heroes when you've got Wulfrik and Throgg. Just cast lords. You cast lords with allied recruitment of Norscan units, if you really care about that. Personally, I just use the Warriors of Cast roster and just go with Wulfrik and Throgg. That's my view. Costine signing out.